Hello everyone, welcome to session 4 of QA training. In this session, we are learning software testing lifecycle. Software testing lifecycle STLC is a set of phases that includes different activities to be performed as part of testing. The phases of the STLC interacts with every stage of the software lifecycle. There are 5 phases in the SDLC. Test planning, test analysis and design, test implementation and execution phase, evaluating exit criteria and reporting, and the final phase is test closure activity. Let's go in depth of each and every phase. Test planning. In this test planning phase, the testing objectives are defined. Testing objectives may include features to be tested, types of testing to be performed, hardware and software availability, defining exit criteria such as when to stop the testing, and defining the resources and schedule for testing. So the next phase of STLC, test analysis and design. In this test analysis and design phase, we write the test cases based on the type of testing selected in the previous phase. This phase also includes identifying necessary test data required for the testing, designing the test environment setup, and identifying the required infrastructure and tools. The next phase of STLC is test implementation and execution. Actual testing is performed in this phase. The major task in this phase is performing testing using the test cases, creating the log of the outcome of the test execution, comparing the results of the test execution with expected results, logging the defects, and repeating the test activities in order to ensure that the defects identified previously is fixed and no new defects are introduced. Next phase is evaluating exit criteria and reporting. Testing is an iterative process. That is, if the defects are fixed, then testing would be done again. And in this phase, logs generated in the previous phase are checked against the exit criteria determined in the planning phase to check if more testing is required. A test summary report is created for the stakeholders to review the progress of testing. After tester assures that defects have been fixed and no more critical defects remain in the software. And the last phase of software testing lifecycle is test closure activities. In this phase, the test environment is cleaned up and restored the default state. The process review meetings are done and lessons learned are documented. Data from completed test activities are also archived for the future reference. So let's move to the STLC deliverables. So as part of the STLC, we have different deliverables in each and every phase. Let's talk about each and every phase with the deliverables. So each stage of STLC will have a definite entry and exit criteria, activities and deliverables associated with it. During the test planning phase, each requirement is mapped as testable and non-testable requirements, and requirement traceability matrix is prepared. Traceability matrix links a business requirement to its corresponding functional requirement. It is also helps us to ensure that all the requirements are tested. Automation feasibility for the given testing project is also done in this phase only. During the test planning phase, test plan is documented. For the testing team, this test plan is very important. Test plan documents the type of testing performed, identify the environment details, test tool selection, defines the training needs, resource planning, and define the roles and responsibilities. A test plan helps monitor the progress of various testing activities and helps taking the control in case of any deviations from the planned activities. And also we have one more deliverable as part of test planning is effort estimation. Effort estimation is also delivered in this phase. Test estimates can be affected by many factors like timing pressures, people factors, and geographic distribution of the test team and so on. Let's move to the second phase of STLC, test analysis and design. In the test analysis and design, test team starts to write the test scenarios. Test scenario is a concept which provides one-line information on what to test. Good test coverage can be achieved by using test scenarios. These test scenarios further helps the testing team in writing the test cases. Each scenario can lead to multiple test cases. Test case provides detailed information on what to test, steps to be taken, and the expected results of the same. This phase involves creation, verification, and reworks of the test cases. Associated test data and scripts are also created in this phase. Let's move to the next phase, test implementation and execution phase. During test implementation and execution phase, the test team would carry out the testing based on the test plan and the test cases prepared in the earlier phases. Test results document is created by the test team during this phase. Test results includes test pass, fail status of the test cycle against each and every test case executed. For each of the failed test cases, defects are logged in the defect tracking tool. Bug report is also a deliverable in this implementation phase. A bug report contains all the necessary information needed by the development team to fix the defect. It contains the description, reproducible steps to generate the bug. The environment details where the bugs are reproducible, priority and severity also will be available in the bug report. These bug reports usually will be created by the testers, and this will be very useful for the management team to assess the performance. Then move to the next phase, evaluating exit criteria and reporting. Here, very important deliverable, test summary report. Test summary report is created as part of the exit criteria and reporting. Test summary report is a document which contains summary of test activities and final test results. Test summary report should measure coverage against the requirement, and also it mainly contains the test suits data, test cases data, test results and defect data along with the risks as well. Various test metrics are also published in this phase. Different metrics helps to measure the quality, cost and effectiveness of the product being tested. Few of the metrics that is usually captured are test coverage, defect priority and severity, defect density. These are the common test metrics we will use in the test execution phase. And the final phase of STLC is test closure activities. During the last phase of test closure, testing team will meet, discuss and analyze testing artifacts to identify strategies that have to be implemented in future, taking lessons from the current test cycle, and this will be documented in the document called lessons learned. So the deliverable of test closure activities is lessons learned. The idea is to remove the process of bottlenecks for future test cycles and share the best practices for any similar projects in future. That's all for this session. Thank you team, and we will meet in the next session. Thank you all.